السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مرحبا شباب، معكم فاروق. رجعت لكم بفيديو جديد وفكرة جديدة. راح أشرح لكم إياها على السريع. زي ما أنتم شايفين هنا معنا ديفيد ومعنا ناتالي، الاثنين من أمريكا. اليوم فكرة الفيديو حتكون عبارة عن truth or myth. للي ما بيعرف truth or myth يعني حقيقة أو خرافة. أوكي. كلنا بنعرف الصورة النمطية اللي إحنا ماخدينها عن الغرب، فراح اليوم نحكي شوية صور نمطية. الصور النمطية هاي راح نسألهم ونشوف هل الصور النمطية اللي احنا ماخدينها عنهم حقيقة أو لا، وبرضه هم راح يسألوني عن الصور النمطية اللي الغرب ماخدينها عنا احنا كعرب وممكن كفلسطينيين خصوصا، وراح أحكي إذا كان هذا الإشي مزبوط أو لا. خلينا نرحب بديفيد وناتالي. هاي ناتالي and hi David.
Hello.
Say hi to the audience.
Hello there.
Hello to the audience.
Let me start for the first one. We thought that Americans look at Muslim countries as Arab. And I can tell not all Muslims country are Arab country. What do you say about that?
I personally, I think that the majority of Americans would concur with that statement. Like, we would not know the difference. You can be Arab and not Muslim, and Muslim and not Arab, but I don't think that the majority of us would know exactly which countries fit into either group.
And like David said, most Americans don't know the difference between Muslim and Arabic and who is what.
I would say that the majority of Americans assume that Muslim women are required to wear hijab or some sort of modest clothing or headdress. Would you concur, Natalie?
Okay.
Well, I went to a school where we had a couple of Muslim girls, and they chose when they wanted to start wearing their hijab, and they explained to most of their classmates very politely their reasons for it, that it was for religion and modesty, and that they could still feel confident even wearing their headdresses. So I was fortunate enough to know that it wasn't a requirement in all places, and that for many people it's a choice rather than a punishment or a form of suppression.
And you were fortunate to have that information, but would you agree that the majority of Americans do not have that information, and they would believe that it was like a stern requirement of the female population in most Arab countries?
Yes. Many Americans would believe that it is a form of feminine suppression or of oppression or male dominance over a woman rather than a religious or personal choice.
Personal choice.
Most Americans would probably believe that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Our God tell us that woman must wear hijab, but we don't force them to wear hijab. They can choose if they want to wear it or not. We don't punish women for that. We don't force them for that. It's a personal choice. Yeah, but it's against religion. Like, let me see that. It's against religion.
One stereotype that I could think of is food related. That the majority of food is either made yourself or street vendors. The only imagery that I've seen of people eating food in Arabic countries has been walking down the street and you walk up and you buy something and you eat it. And I've never seen fine dining or the culinary arts be a predominant part of society and culture. So are there restaurants there that you would have to make reservations for and you would dress up very nice? Like, that's not something that I've seen before.
Yeah, we have restaurants. We have mid-level restaurant, low-level restaurant, and high-level restaurant.
I've only ever seen the mid and low level. I've never seen a high level restaurant be talked about.
Yeah, I can tell that we have a high-level restaurant, and you can have the reservation and dress nice and go with your family. You know, United Arab Emirates has
Yes.
a restaurant. We all three can't afford that. We have this stereotype, okay? When we just hear America, it's just like the country that your dreams will come true. All Americans are rich, okay? Rich, have a nice cars. All Americans have iPhones, not Samsung or Android, okay? This is the stereotype, and we start dreaming. Okay, when I grow up, I will travel to America to be rich. Is that true?
Absolutely not. No,
No,
that is not
that's
true.
not true.
Okay.
My first car was a 1985 Oldsmobile.
I drove my grandma's car until her eyesight got too bad and she couldn't drive anymore, and I would drive her around all the place. And once she couldn't drive anymore, then she gave me her car keys, and the car became mine after 4 years of driving her around.
Okay. I think that the majority of us would assume that the entire Arab community are also Muslim.
Yes, a lot of people in America think that Muslim and Arabic are the same thing.
Oh, like all Arabs are Muslims?
Yes.
Yes.
Not knowing that some Arabs can be Christian Arabs, and they could be Jewish Arabs or Buddhist Arabs.
Yeah, not all Arab are Muslims. We have Christians, we have Jews, we have a lot of religions there. Okay.
I feel like part of that
Absolutely.
stereotype, comes from the fact that we aren't very educated on what it means to be Muslim or what it means to be Arabic. And so because it's rarely discussed, we all just group it into the same category of things we don't understand.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Let's take Gaza an example. Okay, we have Muslims and we have Christians and we have church in Gaza. We have mosques and we
It's
have
a pretty
church.
church. He showed me the pictures of it. It's a pretty church.
Yeah,
A super huge church.
we have two church in Gaza, and one of
And
them
some beautiful mosques.
and one of them is just besides a mosque. Is church and mosque share the same wall?
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Those are important distinctions to make. But in every other means, you are ordered by Allah to protect non-Muslims
Yeah, exactly.
and live and coexist peacefully.
Yes.
Which brings me to my point. I would think that the majority of Americans would probably assume the opposite.
Oh, no. That's not right. We had this stereotype that's all Americans, when your parents get old, you put them in a retirement house. Is that right?
The majority of the time, yeah, I would say that. Indeed, the majority of
I
the
would
time,
say-
the elderly choose to go to retirement homes.
Yes.
By them own, they
Because
choose to go,
Yeah.
and you don't force
yes,
them to
it's
go.
almost
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
well, usually the only times that you force someone old to go to a retirement home is when they became too angry or mean or develop a mental illness as they get older, and it's too hard for the family to take care of them without
So like
somebody getting hurt.
if everyone in the home is working and grandma gets Alzheimer's and she can't remember how to cook herself a meal or when to take her appointment, take her
Medicine.
prescriptions and
Yes.
all of that
Yes.
stuff, then it becomes a necessity because everyone's working or out of the home and no one's able to be with grandma.
Oh, okay.
So I would also feel like there's a stereotype that exists in the United States that the majority of people in the Arab community are living in cobblestone or poorly constructed homes, poor materials, or I have even heard tents in some places, and that, again, this came from a very ignorant young lady, but she asked a friend of mine if they had trees in his country because he was from a desertous country. So I think that there's a lot of ignorance about the community in general.
Okay.
And the landscape and the architecture.
We have nice house. We have villas. We have skyscrapers. We have towers. We have all sorts of those nice buildings.
Thank you for making that distinction for those of us that didn't know.
اوكي يا شباب، اضطرينا نفصل الزوم لانه معطينا ليمت 40 دقيقة واحنا هنا في روم ماسنجر لنحكي مع السلامة على السريع. لا تنسوا تضغطوا لايك اذا عجبكم الفيديو، ديسلايك لو ما عجبكم الفيديو، اكتبوا لي في الكومنتات تحت ايش ما عجبكم في الفيديو. اعملوا اشتراك، خلينا نوصل عدد مشتركين كويس. خلينا نحكي goodbye to David and goodbye to Natalie. Say goodbye to the audience.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Like and subscribe
Thank you.
to this guy.
Don't forget to subscribe and comment.
Bye bye.
Bye.